Tennessee absolutely decimates, demolishes, however you want to put it, the Florida Gators last night in the swamp. I couldn't be happier. Harb's got a smile on his face. I'm sure he's is and was ecstatic last night. I'm Nice. That's Harb. This is a an episode we've been waiting to do for 22 years, Harb. Even though we've only been this show's only been on the air for 5 years. But I haven't seen the Vols win in the swamp since 2003, 2003. Great night last night. Tennessee absolutely dominated the Gators.
Yeah, it was just a absolute and total ass kicking. That's
That's what it was.
all you can call it. Florida gave up at the end of the first quarter, and it was just an absolute delight. I had a blast watching it. And you could tell on their face when we were up 14-0 and driving towards the end of the first quarter. I think a camera angle panned to one of their D linemen. They said hell with it.
I think I saw that same look. I said this to Griff. I said, look at Lagway's face. I can't remember which possession it was. I don't know if it was, I think it was their third possession. They ended up punting, and you could just see it in his eyes. He was just totally checked out. He was done.
Yeah. And it was a perfect way to exercise some demons, in my opinion. The only way that would have made it better is if Heupel didn't call the dogs off and just kind of lay down in the second half. There's been a few people upset at that. It's a double-sided coin. One, you won by 20 in the swamp. Just be thankful and take it and keep it moving. But the other side of the coin is it was Urban Meyer night, which I don't have to elaborate on that one. And it'd been so long, just kind of take it out on him, run it up. But he didn't, and I'm not upset at him for it. I wanted to see it in the moment. But it was just complete and utter domination. Deshaun Bishop have a night. Ethan Davis have a night. Staley and Matthews played well. Brazel got in there. I mean, it was. If you would have asked me last week, this was probably best case scenario. And I just want to ask the very small and very stupid part of the fan base that was potentially questioning Josh Heupel's job this time last week or 2 weeks ago. How we feel now?
Yeah.
And I understand Florida's awful. They had a lot of injuries.
Who cares?
I don't give a shit. I do
Who
not.
cares?
I do not care.
We've been on the other side of
all.
that. We've been on the other side of that where we've been in their shoes, and no one felt sorry for us.
No. And this was fun. It was so much fun. Um, I mean, first drive of the game, just go right down their throat. You run, and then you RPO to Davis, the same kind of pattern that he'd been blocking the whole drive. Beautiful play call. And then it was over after that. Like, retroactively looking at it, the game was done. Front seven played well. Shout out to Tim Banks. He sent a lot of pressure. Made Lagway extremely uncomfortable. They had 1 yard in the first quarter. And, yeah, one. One,
One.
those counting at home. That's three
If
feet.
if you were
3 feet.
watching, if you were watching, you saw me put up one finger. If you're listening, to reiterate what Harb said, Florida had 1 yard of total offense in the first quarter. One. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, like, just domination, and I'm still over the moon about it. I mean, we finally got the monkey off our back. We have won in Gainesville. We did it in dominating fashion. Florida knew it too. They had one drive that took up the majority of the third quarter, just running the ball like, please God, don't make this any worse. And we didn't. There's just no other way to put it, but it was a ton of fun.
I
It
was
was.
ecstatic.
Hell yeah. And
I mean,
I was talking so much trash, and there wasn't even a Florida fan around me. I was just barking at the
oh yeah.
TV.
Oh yeah.
And I felt like everybody in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium could hear me. And it was jubilation.
Yes.
Jubilation.
It's exactly what I was doing, Harb. I mean, what a great night, a great win. Tennessee jumps out 31 to nothing at the end of the first half. Just pure total domination. They didn't need to score the rest of the night. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. I'll get into that in a minute because I have a lot to say about that. But Josh Heupel, to me, has a really good sense most of the time. I think sometimes in tighter games, he gets a little tight, no pun intended, but I think he has a really good sense. A game that made me think of this. I think he has a really good sense of when to push the tempo, when to go after it, and when to say like, all right, we're gonna throttle back here, and we're gonna bleed this clock out. We're gonna get out of here because there's nothing that the team we're playing can do to beat us. Oklahoma last year, perfect example of that. We dominated that game. The score on paper, I don't remember what it was, looked a lot closer than what it was in reality. And they did something similar. They ran the football, of course, different offense last year. It was more of a running attack than it was this year. But you're right. I mean, Tennessee only had the ball, I think, what, one time in the third quarter, maybe, and then they got it back right before the end of the third quarter. Um, so yeah, okay, they didn't score. They really only had one opportunity to score, if I remember correctly. But just a great night. I don't care if Florida was 10-0 or 0-10 or they were 3-7. It doesn't matter, guys. We've played some bad Florida teams down there over the last 8 to 10 years and not won that game. And I know me and you picked this game last week on here a few days ago, and you picked us to lose. And I said we would win a close one, but I thought we would cover. But I also said that usually when you see this a lot, not a lot, maybe every now and then in sports, where there's a team that hasn't won against a certain team or at a certain place in a long, long time, and it usually ends in spectacular fashion. Either a really tight, exciting football game or a blowout. And the blowout happened yesterday. I mean, it just is like Florida's world has crumbled on them. And I hate that for him. It couldn't happen to a nicer bunch, as my dad says. But um, just a great night. I wanted to throw out some stats here before I get into my other rant of the night because I am a little pissed off, Harb, just a little. Even though I'm ecstatic over the win, I'm a little pissed off. But I'll tell you in a minute why.
I was wondering why.
I'll tell you here in a minute. Um, Let me see. Where'd we go here? That is the Vols, obviously, first win in Gainesville since 2003. The win last night also secured back-to-back wins over Florida for the first time since 03-04 season. The 20-point win tied UT's largest margin of victory in 23 road meetings against Florida, the previous being a 20-0 win in 1955. I don't even know what Ben Hill Griffin Stadium looked like back then. Let's see. Did you know this? Josh Heupel, I saw this earlier today too, joins General Robert R. Nealon as the only UT head coaches to defeat Florida in at least three out of their first five contests against the Gators. The General was 6-0 all time versus Florida. Tennessee also improved to 37-12 when playing as a ranked team under Josh Heupel. The Vols are now 34-5 versus unranked teams during his tenure, including 11 straight wins. Um, Heupel and Tennessee checked off another box last night, Harb, of things we haven't done in years and decades. Um, I was trying to tell people last night, only one person in the room really understood me. And that was look where this program was just 5 years ago, a half decade ago. And look what's happened under Josh Heupel since he's been here. We've beaten Alabama twice at home. We've beaten Florida twice at home. Now Florida on the road. We've won 10 games in two different seasons. You win the next two, you can win 10 games for three out of the last five seasons. Won the Orange Bowl. When was the last time we'd been to a major bowl game since then? It had to be under Fulmer.
So, piggybacking off of what you're saying right now, Austin Stanley on Twitter covers the Titans and the Vols. He posted something that I enjoyed. He said things Josh Heupel has done in 5 seasons at Tennessee. He beat Nick Saban and Alabama twice. He's beat Florida 3 times, 3 out of the last 4, and also snapped the swamp streak. He beat LSU in Baton Rouge, and he also added snapped the Arkansas curse, which not putting a whole lot of stock into the last point, but it's a good little check mark on it. And the two and a half things he hasn't done is beat Georgia, here or Athens, obviously, and win in Tuscaloosa.
That's the last two things besides getting to the SEC championship game and maybe winning a national title. That's it.
Now, as I want you to put on your Scotty Rimmer brain,
Okay.
as a high school teacher, 0 to 100, give Josh Heupel his exam grade for the almost full 5 seasons he's been here on the spot right now.
From 0 to 100,
Mm-hmm.
I would give him. I'm trying to remember the grading scale from my UT days.
Well, let's just assume that 90 to 100 is an A,
What's a B plus?
80 to 89 is a B, and so forth.
So,
70s is a C, 60s is a D.
so I'm going to say B plus. I'm going to give him an 87 because if I remember correctly at UT, if you got an 87, you got a B plus or something like that. 87. And the reason I gave him an 87 is there's been some slip ups on the road, obviously. Arkansas last year, South Carolina in 2022. Um, there's been some late game slip ups that maybe they should have won some games. They lost some games they probably should have won. Um, they're almost there, Harb. They're just almost there. And again, last night Florida's bad. I get that, but again, we haven't won down there in so long. He and this program are doing things that haven't been done in decades,
Yeah,
and you got to give him credit for that. Like no one else could do it. He's doing it. His staff's doing it.
I personally, I think I'm gonna give him a 92.
Okay.
I think it's a low A. I think it's an A minus, considering what he inherited and where we are right now. Like, I know a lot of people are upset and or were before this game, but before the season started, the same minority were praying for 9-3. They're like, oh, we don't know what this quarterback's going to be. We don't know this. We don't know that. There's no way we're going to be as good as last year. Our tribal chief, Oh my God. Uh, um, and then we get into the season, and you're down three of your starting four DBs as of November 22nd was yesterday, and you're sitting at 8-3. And if you beat Vandy, you're 9-3. Get You're not going to make the playoff. Let's just call it. That's fine. Can't make it every year. I don't think. You get a very respectable bowl game. You win that. You get 10 wins going into next season with as of right now, a top 10 recruiting class and a young roster. That's a ton of momentum.
Mhm.
Now, if we'd have lost in the swamp, the grade would be like a 80, 79. This win did more for Josh Apple than what a lot of people would like to admit, in my opinion. He did what he had to do, or the team did, and it's not like one of those things where we're going to throw a parade for doing it based on this Florida team this year. But you had to, and he did. And you're up 31 nothing at halftime. Like I would love to see the last time we were up by 30 after 30 minutes against Florida.
I
I,
don't
I
remember
haven't
it.
I haven't ran those numbers.
I don't recall that ever happening.
Exactly. And it'd have been fun to drop 50 on them. They didn't have to. And I don't hold the second half against them whatsoever. I mean, in the moment, drinking a couple chocolate milks, I'm like, throw it. Like let's get after him a little bit. But this was, I don't want to call it a statement win because of the shape of Florida football right now, but it kind of was. It's a statement win in the fact that you beat the hell out of them and you exercise some demons, and we don't play down there for another 4 years. That's the best part of this. Like, they're going to have to wait 4 more years to avenge that. But
The last
we
one
did
I
what
can
we had to do.
Yeah, the last thing
Yeah.
I can find where we blew them out like this was 1990, but it was in Neyland Stadium. Tennessee was up 7-3 at the half and scored four touchdowns in the third quarter to go up 35-3. Ended up winning 45-3. So I don't know who scored first. I'd have to look here.
Shout out Craig Faulkner.
Yes, I just saw his name on here.
Fastest,
Um,
fastest white boy from Kentucky.
Trying to see, man, this is old. I mean, going back here, I'm looking at the box score. The box score, they've typed it up. It's not on a it's on a scanned PDF. Anyway, it's dude, this is awesome. The NCAA final team statistics are handwritten. This is in 1990. It's somebody's handwritten, like first downs, rushing, passing, penalty yards, all this stuff is handwritten. That's so awesome. No, what I'm mad about, Harb, I just like I was with a group of people last night, and all they did the entire second half was complain because we didn't score anymore. And we were only up 31 to nothing. And then we're only up 31-3. And then you get the game's over. I'm ecstatic. Tennessee wins. It's a great night. Florida sucks. And you get on Twitter, and not everybody, but there's a lot of people on there just bitching and moaning and whining and complaining. Why did Heupel? We should have beat the Tar. It's the same thing they were doing against after the New Mexico game. or New Mexico State a couple weeks ago. Why didn't we win by more? Why didn't we put 70 on them? This is an indictment on Josh Heupel. He's soft. He doesn't have that killer instinct. My God, people, can you not be happy for one thing? Somebody posted this afternoon. I don't know what people were saying back in 1998, 1999, because social media wasn't around and you're in your own little bubble. I was in high school in my home, so I only heard what me and my dad were talking about, maybe my friends. But were there people back then complaining, oh, we only won, we only beat Florida State 23-16. I can't believe we didn't beat them by more. We're way better than them. What were they doing? Like, that is such loser mentality. If you're one of those out there that feel and thought that way last night, you're a loser. That's such loser mentality. Josh Heupel knew what he was doing last night. Do I agree with him the whole time? I barked at him last night. There at the end of the first half, there was what, 16 seconds left. Bishop had run out of bounds, and they run a play with one timeout left. And instead of calling a timeout and you've got maybe a couple more shots at the end zone, they just line up and run it again. And then they let the clock run down even more and kick a field goal. Like, that's the type of stuff that bothers me. And you could tell, like, they zoomed in on him afterwards, and he was so frustrated. I don't know if he was frustrated at his team or was he frustrated at himself for not calling a timeout earlier, but you could just see the look on his face. He was like, God, what did we just do here? But I think he just didn't want to put him in a tough spot because he's probably having flashbacks to Alabama. Because think about it right there. You throw a pick six, and Florida takes it to the house and they get the ball to start the second half. It's 28-7. What if they go down and score and then it's 28-14? Instead, they took their time. They played it smart. They kicked the field goal and they went into the half. I was okay with the field goal, and how they got there was a different story. But I could not believe I was sitting there listening to that last night. We were dominating. We were absolutely dominating Florida, and people, all they did was complain. I just can't. Like, what do we have to do to please people? Like, that's such loser mentality to me. It just is. And I get it. We wanted to blow him out and throttle him, but we did. Don't you see? That's what we did. It was 31-0 at halftime. Florida gave up. And so Heupel, they gave up and he saw it. They did it last year against Oklahoma. Nobody said anything about it then. All right, I'm done, Harb. I don't want to be mad this whole show because we beat Florida last night. My God.
I will say, defending the people you're referring to, uh, the Oklahoma game is way different. That's where he played. Like, that's his home, for lack of a better term. Calling the dogs off in that game, like, that's a very classy move. You know, even with all the angst he has against that athletic program. This one, and I understand he wasn't around for all of this, and he understands the magnitude of this game, but it's not the same when you call the dogs off versus Oklahoma versus when you call the dogs off against Georgia. It's not, and I'm not upset. I'm not upset at all. But selfishly, just as a kid that grew up, every time we go to Gainesville, just getting your damn teeth kicked in or losing in heartbreaking fashion, whichever example you want to use. Selfishly, it'd been nice to be throwing the ball with 3 minutes left.
I don't disagree with that. I mean,
Yeah,
I would have liked to have beat them 38-10 or 45-3 or
like the old Woody Hayes thing when they played Michigan. He went for two.
yeah,
With a
yeah,
minute left.
yeah,
All right, Coach, why'd you go for twos? Well, by God, it's because I couldn't go for three.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like that would have been fun. And I think if Napier was still the coach, it might have been a little different. He might have been taking it easy on the interim.
True.
But it would be fun to see Florida have an interim head coach.
I'm praying that Lane Kiffin turns them down and they struggle to find a coach and they have to settle for somebody they don't want. God, that would be so good.
So if we're segueing into that, I think Lane Kiffin's staying in Oxford. I think he's staying, which I think the perfect fit for him is Florida. But from a recruiting standpoint, you got to compete against Miami, Florida State, Georgia dips in Florida. You go to LSU, hell, I think I could get a top 15 recruiting class at LSU.
There's a lot of talent in that state.
However, there's no competition.
Mm-mm.
I mean, you get the Texas teams and you get Bama, and I mean, everybody's going to dabble in there, obviously. But as far as in-state recruiting, if a kid wants to stay home, I mean, by God, they're going to LSU if they're worth a flip. But there's a lot of turmoil there. There's a lot of pressure on the hire after hiring Brian Kelly. The governor's involved. It's a little messy. All three of these schools involved have offered him the same amount of annual money and pledged roughly the same amount of money for their roster, which is weird to say for college football, but that's the day and
Uh,
age we're in. Every one of them have offered him roughly $16 million a year, and they've all pledged north of 22 million for their roster annually. The numbers I keep seeing are 25, which that would be $3 million more than Ohio State's roster this year.
it's crazy.
If you're Lane Kiffin, and I understand Lane's Lane, why would you leave Ole Miss?
I mean, they'll build a statue of him if he stays.
Why would you?
Yeah.
You can turn them into something they've never been before. You go to
True.
Florida, you're going to get compared to Steve Spurrier all the time
Yeah.
because he is Steve Spurrier Jr. You go to LSU, there is so much pressure on you following Brian Kelly because the other three head coaches before him won a national championship. You stay at Ole Miss, you win 10 games every year. You're the man. Like you're the greatest coach of all time in that respective program. But I truthfully don't think he's going anywhere. I think he did all this for attention. Shocking with Kiffin, I know.
No way.
Really,
No way.
I truly, truly, truly do not see him going anywhere.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. I think there'll be a lot of action here in the next week or two, especially after the games next week. But I mean, you've got Arkansas open. I was reading about their, you know, search today, and looks like Golish is involved, and the North Texas head coach, and Alabama's defensive coordinator, and Memphis State's head coach is involved. And then you've got Florida and LSU. Obviously, we just mentioned those. Um, so there's those three jobs open in the SEC. Auburn, it looks like, from what I've read and heard over the weekend, they're probably zoned in on Summerall at Tulane. Will there be anybody else in the conference? I don't think Beamer's going to get let canned at South Carolina. I don't think Stoops is going to get canned at Kentucky. I don't see that happening. I mean, they can still go to a bowl game this year if they beat Louisville next weekend. Um, but you've got Virginia Tech with James Franklin has hired a coach. Penn State's still out there. Cal fired Justin Wilcox, former Tennessee defensive coordinator, this afternoon. So they're looking for a coach. It looks like it might be Oregon's defensive coordinator, supposedly. So I think there's going to be a lot of movement over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Obviously, I mean that's probably understating it because teams that aren't going to their conference championship are going to be making moves. But that Ole Miss one's interesting because Ole Miss could host a playoff game. But who knows what Lane's going to do? Um, and he's trolling everybody too. His son playing quarterback the other night and had LSU headphones on and just, I mean, just love, love Lane and I hate him. So, Harp, speaking of love and hate, I kind of like watching this guy play, but also hate him. Vanderbilt, Pavia is coming to town. Big game. We don't get to say this a whole lot. Tennessee versus Vandy. Big game in Neyland Stadium this weekend. Vandy is 9-2 overall, 5-2 in the conference, just ahead of Tennessee, who's 8-3 now, 4-3 in the conference. Tennessee opened as a 3.5 point favorite on ESPN Bet. Here it's down to 2.5. Matchup predictor has Tennessee 57.6% chance to win. It's in Neyland. It's 3:30. It's senior day. Sold out. There's Vanderbilt accounts who claim they've bought tons and tons of tickets, but they can't even fill up their 40,000 seat stadium without the help of away fans. So I don't believe that. But they're coming in here with a lot to play for. I mean, Tennessee does too, but Vandy is still in the playoff hunt. Um,
Are they though?
I mean, they're there. I mean, they got to have some things happen, but a win over Tennessee would definitely help.
Do,
But
do they have two losses or three?
they have two.
Okay, so I guess they
They're
are.
9-2. So I want to think this game. It's not really the same comparison because we were bad when this team came in here, but Kentucky back in 2018 came into Neyland, ranked like 11th in the country, quote, best team in Kentucky history. And Tennessee absolutely just dog walked them like we should a Tennessee or a Kentucky and a Vanderbilt. Um, I don't know if I see something like that happening. This Vanderbilt team's an older team, a lot of seniors. Tennessee's a younger team. I don't know if this will be a shootout. What was the over under last I saw was like 64 and a half, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, 64 and a half. Um, I don't know, Harb. What do you think? I mean, this is kind of uncharted territory for us. I mean, there's been some decent Vanderbilt teams uh, that Tennessee's played, but Tennessee also was not very good when Vandy under, especially think of James Franklin. Um, they were pretty good. I mean, I don't say pretty good. They were a good football program back then. We were not. Um, this is the first time they've like been somewhat legit, and we're somewhat legit, and we're facing off in a rivalry game here at the end of the season. That's what these rivalry games are supposed to be, but Vanderbilt's never held their end of the bargain on this. They have this year, but we'll see. What are you thinking this weekend when the Commodores come to town?
I think it'll be rocking, and I think this game in Gainesville tells me that our team is not going to quit whatsoever, and they have a ton to play for. Like these rivalry games mean something, and I think Heupel has done an incredible job of keeping these guys focused and proving how good they are, even though like the guys in that locker room believe that they should have one loss or maybe none. From a player perspective, they probably believe they should have none. From a reasonable fan perspective, they should have one.
Yeah.
We don't like those guys. We don't like them and their little brother, and it's important to keep the sanctity of that and keep them where they're at.
I'm trying to think, Harb, in my lifetime, I don't remember this, but I did Vandy beat us in 84 or was that Kentucky? It may have been Kentucky. I've only seen Vandy beat us, what, 3 or 4 times in my whole life? I saw him beat us in '08 in Neyland and then in 14 in Neyland. And then they won a couple times. They won in what was that, 16? They beat us out there when we were up like 31-17 at the half or something.
Yeah, 16 is when they
Yeah.
well, We could have went to the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah. And so yeah, it's been 3 or 4 times. I can't remember, but
I think it's been more than that.
may have been.
I, I hate to say this out loud, but I think in the 2010s we went 5-5.
That could be right. I'll look that up. But I mean, Tennessee,
What year was Patton Robinette? Was that 14?
I think it was, yes. Because that was a year we were leading them late and we stopped them, I think, on third or fourth down, and AJ Johnson got a taunting penalty or a late hit penalty or something and kept the drive alive, and they went down and scored a touchdown to beat us, and it knocked us out of bowl eligibility. I'm gonna try to look up the history here, but I mean, I was thinking about this afternoon. Obviously a big game for Vanderbilt, and they've got a lot on the line. Tennessee doesn't have as much on the line because they're already going to go to a pretty good bowl game outside of the about said BCS, outside of the bowl, whatever that coalition is, not going to the playoffs, but um, still going to go to a pretty decent bowl. But it's a rivalry game, and there's pride on the line. Um, Tennessee, it would be nice for Tennessee to win this football game, keep little brother in place where they're supposed to be. This is Tennessee State, not Vanderbilt. I don't care what they say, and if they beat us Saturday, it would still be our state. But I mean, Tennessee needs to win this game from a pride standpoint, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Win your ninth game of the year, go to a bowl game, play a mediocre Big Ten team, win number 10. Like you said earlier, got a great recruiting class coming in. Who knows what's going to happen this offseason with Joey Aguilar? He might be back, he might not. But if he's not, you've got 3 quarterbacks that you can choose from that were all highly rated. And you've got some really good skill position guys coming in. So let's finish this season strong. Play it out. I mean, play for pride. I mean, it's hard in this era for these kids because they're getting paid and there's so much other stuff going on. But sometimes you just got to go out there and have a little bit of pride about yourself and win a football game. 9-3 looks a lot better than 8-4 to me.
No, it does. And in my opinion, I would argue that Tennessee has more to play for than Vanderbilt does.
How's
And
that?
Vanderbilt's obviously vying to make the playoff, and that'd be monumental for them. But if they lose this game, they go 9-3. Their 3 losses are to Tennessee, Texas, and Alabama. Correct?
Yes.
Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the best programs in season in program. That's one of the best seasons in program history. That's definitely the best one that I can remember. Obviously, they have their sights set higher than I do for them, but it's still a hell of a year. Pavia had a great 2 year run there. Clark Lee is building something pretty dang respectable there. I really, really like Clark Lee. But on the flip side, Tennessee, you lose this game, you lose all the momentum that you gained from snapping the Florida streak. Um, you finish 8-4 in year 5 with a game you should have won against Georgia, a game you should have won against Oklahoma, and depending, let's just say you lose the Vanderbilt game in the same fashion and you lose those 2 games. You're pissed off because you know you were good enough to do it, and you ended up mediocre, probably right outside the top 25, and you just finished the season with the sourest taste in your mouth, losing to Vanderbilt. There's no momentum going into next year outside the recruiting class. And it's just like, yeah, 2025 happened and it blew, really. So yeah, I think Tennessee does have more to play for in this game. You win this game, yes, the Georgia and Oklahoma games still happen, but even with playoff out of the picture, you kick the shit out of Florida, you beat Vandy, you go to a good bowl game, win or lose, but you would like to win the bowl game just to get that double digit win figure on the board. There's so much more momentum heading into next year. And I think Vandy's going to have momentum heading into next year no matter what. Obviously, they're probably not going to be as good next year as they were this year, just because Pavian and a lot of other guys are leaving. I think they're the oldest team in the SEC. Correct me
Y-
if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Tennessee's the youngest or second youngest.
They're down at the bottom, yes.
I think they're one of the two. I truly think it's a bigger game for Tennessee, and that's weird to say, but you can't look at yourself seriously in the mirror as a football program, especially in year 5 under a coach, and feel good about yourself heading into year 6 if you lose at home to Vanderbilt. I don't give a shit how good they are. It's still Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I agree.
Point blank, period. Bigger game for Tennessee than it is Vanderbilt.
Before I get your prediction, I lied. I said 2008 we lost. It was actually 2005. That was Jay Cutler, 28-24 in Neyland Stadium. We lost to them in 2012, and the 2013 game was the one I was referencing earlier. We lost 14 to 10. Won two in a row, and then lost to them in 16, 17, and 18. I forgot about those 3 years. Lost to them all 3 years. 45-34 in 16, 42-24 in 17, 38-13 in 2018. Just unacceptable. And now we've won six in a row. So prediction. Does Tennessee win, Harb? What happens?
Yes, we win. I'm not going to go as far to say that it's dominating, but I think it's convincing. There's going to be some moments where I think we sweat, but I truthfully just think we're better than them, and this kind of chicken shit on my part because we argue against this when we play an Alabama or a Georgia,
Yeah.
but the logos on the helmet matter. They do. Let's just call it like it is. But I think the crowd's going to be into it, especially after what, last week. It's senior day. It's going to be the final game of the year. Everybody's going to be excited to be there. Pavi's going to have a he should have a pretty good game, but if we send pressure and do the defensive scheme against them, kind of like we did Florida, it's gonna be a long ass day for him. Which Vanderbilt's much better than Florida is. I'm not comparing the two.
Only thing that bothers me about him is he's their leading rusher. And so if we send pressure, we got to get to him. We've got to get him on the ground. They can't let him scramble around because that's cost us earlier in the season.
No, he's definitely gonna create some plays. I mean, we saw that against Taylor Green. Uh, Gunnar Stockton made some plays on his legs. He's not near the rusher that those two guys are. Um, I'm leaving, or Mateer made a lot of plays on his legs, but I just think we're a better football team.
Oh, I agree. I think we're a better program, a better football team. I like Clark Lee. I think he's done a good job out there, but I think Josh Heupel's a better coach. I think Tennessee wins this game. I will never not pick Tennessee to beat Vanderbilt. It's just not how it's supposed to be. Um, I think Tennessee wins, and I know the line's dropped to 2.5. We cover. Of course, if you cover, you pretty much win. But still, I mean, I think Tennessee wins. I
Well, if you
just
cover -2.5, you're guaranteed to win.
yeah, yeah, yes.
There's your analytics.
It's not gutalytics, is it?
No, no, that's just straight up analytics. Analytics.
Trying to find out who the announcers are for our game this weekend. It's on ESPN at 3:30. A lot of games this weekend. Um, it doesn't say. I'll look it up and post it some other time. All right, Hartman, I think Tennessee wins. That's who we picked to win earlier in the season. It should be an electric atmosphere. I was thinking about it last night. I was already thinking about being down there next Saturday at the tailgate. Hopefully, a lot of people there. It's a holiday weekend. No excuses. Um, should be a great atmosphere. Stadium should be loud. Hopefully, the students, even though they're on fall break, hopefully they come back, get in there to the stadium, 102,000 strong, make life rough on Pavia. I mean, he went down to Alabama, and that stadium's just not as loud as Neyland. I'm sorry. I've been there many times, and it is loud. You've been there, but it's not the same. This is a different atmosphere, so he's going to be tested like he hasn't been tested before. So, SEC power rankings, Harb, who you got? Or do you want me to go first?
No, I got it.
Okay.
16, I've got Kentucky back down there after getting throttled in Nashville. 15, I've got South Carolina. They played pretty well against Coastal Carolina. 14's Florida. They should probably honestly be lower, but I mean, I
You
don't
can
know.
only go so low.
It only goes so low. 13's Arkansas. 12 Mississippi State. 11 Auburn. 10 LSU. And I dropped Missouri to 9 after their matchup against Oklahoma. They haven't won in Norman since 1966. That was the year my father was born.
My God,
And they used to play every year.
that's crazy.
You thought our streak was bad.
That's bad. That's a
Oh,
long
brother.
time ago in a
Oh,
galaxy far, far away,
yeah. Oh, brother, where art
known
thou?
as the Big Eight.
And they started the season well, and they've just collapsed. I think Drinkwitz had the Penn State job. He does not have it anymore. They're at 9. At 8, I've got Texas. They beat Arkansas, scored 1,000,000 points, also gave up 500,000. They're fine. 7, I've got Tennessee. I've got the Vols. I think you could put. I think us and Texas are one and the same.
Yeah.
In different ways, I think we're in the exact same tier. I think we have a bigger upside going into next year because I think Heupel's pretty much in concrete to be here next year. Sarkisian is not in concrete to be in Austin next year. And that could lead to Arch Manning going wherever the hell. Maybe, maybe not. They play here next year, so that'll be fun to watch. 6, I've got Vandy, which I've kept them idle. I've dropped Ole Miss to 5, and it wasn't their own doing. It was because another team jumped them. And also, I've got Bama dropping to 4. They played, who was it, Southern Illinois? Eastern Illinois? It
Yeah,
was a direct,
Eastern.
it was a directional Illinois.
They played the Fighting Romos.
Shout out Tony Romo. You are correct. He got his record broken today,
I
which
was
we'll
going to
talk
bring
about.
that up.
We will talk more about that momentarily. Um, 3, I've got Oklahoma. They've won 3 ranked games in a row in kind of dominating fashion, at least on defense. That front seven's legit.
They're not, especially that front four. They're tough.
Yeah, that D line is absurd. Shout out to them with their recent play. They jump up to three, and the top two is no different. Texas A&M is two. Georgia is one. If you don't like my list, make your own.
Well, I did.
Good.
Not that I don't like your list, but I've got Kentucky at 16. They are what they are. Arkansas at 15. They stink. Florida at 14. Like these three teams, you could drop them lower, but we don't have anywhere lower to put them. Florida at 14. South Carolina at 13. They're just a tick better than those bottom three teams. I've still got Mississippi State at 12. I think they were off this week. Auburn's at 11. They beat Mercer. Great. And they also, well, I'll save it for my hate. I've got two hater and losers, but I'll make it quick. LSU at 10. They squeaked by Western Kentucky last night. Um, that program's a mess right now. Brian Kelly's son went through senior night and had a t-shirt on under it that says free BK. I don't know if he was wanting free Burger King or is he talking about his dad. Mizzou at 9. Mizzou is just mid. They couldn't move the football very much at all against a really tough Oklahoma team. They are what they are. They're a four-loss team. Who do they play this week?
Who?
Missouri. Is it
I would assume it's Arkansas.
Arkansas? Yeah. Texas at 8. Nice win over Arkansas, I guess. Arkansas stinks. Arch Manning had a nice day, but still, we'll see what they're made of. Texas A&M this weekend, which we'll get to in a minute. I got Tennessee at 7, Vandy at 6. Those will flip flop if Tennessee wins this weekend over Vandy. Alabama at 5. They throttled Eastern Illinois. Ole Miss was idle this week. Oklahoma at 3. Their defense is nasty. Their offense is doing just enough. They remind me of the 2024 Tennessee Vols a little bit. Georgia at 2. They kind of coasted against Charlotte this weekend, 35-3. I wonder if their fans are just as upset as Tennessee fans were. They didn't win by enough. Who knows? And I've still got Texas A&M at 1. This is one of my favorite weekends of football of the year, Harbin. Rivalry weekend. It's always Thanksgiving weekend. I remember growing up, the Friday game was Colorado versus Nebraska. Thursday night was obviously Thursday afternoon. You had your NFL games, and the Egg Bowl was always on Thursday nights. And then Friday, you would have, like a little later on, you'd have Arkansas, LSU, but Nebraska, Colorado was always there. And then Saturdays when all the games pick up. Georgia, Georgia Tech, Texas, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, which doesn't happen anymore. Tennessee, Vandy, South Carolina, Clemson, Florida, Florida State, Alabama, Auburn, North Carolina and Duke played this last weekend. I don't know what was up with that. Who does UNC play? Did they play NC State this weekend or they already played? That one was weird. Virginia, Virginia Tech, Kentucky, Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just all of these schools, rivalry games all over the place. It's just so fun to watch. Even teams that are out of it sometimes play out of their mind because it's a rivalry game. You want to win that trophy or win those bragging rights for a year. But a lot of big matchups this weekend in the SEC. You've got Tennessee, Vandy, obviously, Texas A&M, and Texas. Alabama is going to Auburn. That's got some implications to it. I don't think Alabama loses, but you just never know what you're going to get when Alabama and Auburn play, and it's at Jordan Hare, and it's not an easy place to play. Um, South Carolina's playing Clemson. That game doesn't matter. See, Auburn and Alabama's at night, 7:30. Georgia, Georgia Tech game. Georgia Tech lost to Pitt yesterday. Um, Kind of devalues that game just a little, not for Georgia, but for Georgia Tech. They probably not in the playoffs now. I don't think they'll be in the ACC championship game unless some stuff happens. But um, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, I forgot about them. The Egg Bowl, a lot of big games this weekend. Harb should be fun. Florida, Florida State, though, good grief.
South Carolina, Clemson.
Ugh,
Yeah.
God. You got a hater and loser.
I do.
Who you got?
I sure do. Let me stretch my back real quick.
Oh, okay.
Stretch. Stretch.
Nice
Yeah,
T-shirt.
let me stretch.
If you're listening, hard,
Hater and
go
loser of
Dallas
the week.
Cowboys.
My hater and loser of the week is Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley. Nice fumble, you loser. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Stephen A. Smith. You got beat by the Dallas Cowboys. And not only did you get beat, you gave up a 21 to nothing lead. You know me. I am maybe the most realistic Cowboys fan in the state of Tennessee. I don't get excited for these. I get excited two and a half times a year. Both times we play Philadelphia. And if we make the playoffs, I get excited for that. This was one of the most fun sports weekends I've had in recent memory. We kicked the shit out of Florida to end the streak, and Dallas comes back from 21-0 to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, which he has now improved his record to 7-1 against the Eagles at home in his career. And he is now 22-2 against the NFC East at AT&T Stadium. Trivia question. When was the last time Dak Prescott started and finished a game and lost to an NFC East opponent at home?
No idea.
You're not going to believe me. Because I
Never.
don't believe me. No, he's 22-2 at home against the NFC East.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention, Harv. I'm sorry.
The last time he lost to a division opponent in Dallas was the year 2017.
It's a few years ago.
8, to be exact.
Almost a decade.
8. 7-1 against them dirty ass birds, them angry pigeons, as a friend of mine likes to call them.
They did have some sweet uniforms on today, though.
Yeah, and they look good getting their ass kicked. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that Kelly Green looked real good getting shoved in the dirt.
sorry, not sorry, right?
I hate Philadelphia as much as I hate Alabama and Florida and Georgia.
As a Cowboys fan, who do you hate more, the Eagles or the Redskins? I don't think the Giants. I mean, all the
Eagles, without a
Eagles.
question.
Okay,
Without a question.
because the big rivalry when I was growing up, I mean, all the NFC East, it's always Cowboys, Giants, Cowboys, Eagles. All those teams don't like each other, and they're always usually pretty good. But I just remember it's Cowboys and Redskins. That's all you heard about when I was growing up, and that's obviously they're the Commanders now, but we don't refer to them as that in this house
I
or on this
think it,
show.
I think it goes by generations because my dad hated San Francisco and Pittsburgh the most.
I can see that. Yeah.
He hated San Fran and Pittsburgh. Well, when I was growing up, I didn't hate Pittsburgh at all. I mean, I hated them because I was told I was kind of supposed to. But we never played, and Pittsburgh kind of held up their end of the bargain. But the only reason Pittsburgh and Dallas ever played, it was kind of like Celtics Lakers, was because they played in the
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl. You know, I didn't hate them. I hated Philadelphia because Deshaun Jackson is a jackass, and I still remember that to this day. I remember exactly where I was. I still hate him, even though he's retired. I hate everything about the
And
Philadelphia.
that's what a rivalry's supposed to be. You're supposed to hate them.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody check in on Big Dom. Big Dom. So,
So
yeah,
I've
the city of
got
Philadelphia is my haters and losers.
Very good. We have a follower that's a big Eagles fan. I'll have to share that with him.
Good. Good. I hope you enjoyed it.
So, I have one like legit hater and loser. I have another one too. So I have two. So I'll make this fast. My first one is the University of Auburn football program. So I don't know if y'all have heard this or not, but recently they claimed a few national titles, Harb. 1958, 1983, 1993, and 2004. Because they, of course, won one under Cam Newton. Um, God, when was that? They beat Oregon, whenever that was. Anyway,
13? 13?
something like that. Anyway, so I looked it up because every school's got like this publication named them national champs, and that group named them national champs, and some of them were around. I mean, there's Tennessee's got national titles that weren't the Associated Press poll, which was kind of the main thing at the time. But Auburn has got some weird ones here, Harb. I'll read them to you quickly. 1958. The championship is questioned due to the championship not existing. There's questions that it didn't even exist, Harb. So how can you claim a national title if it didn't exist? That one was kind of bizarre to me that they honored that team. I mean, I get it. I'm trying to look it up. It was the Montgomery. Let me find it here. Auburn compiled a 9-0-1 record, undefeated in SEC and regular season play, and was selected as the national champion by the Montgomery Full Season Championship. Iowa went 8-1-1 and was selected national champion by the Football Writers Association of America. The Associated Press and the United Press, the UPI coaches poll, selected LSU as the national champion. They went 11-0 and defeated Clemson in the Sugar Bowl, and was ranked number one to finish the season. The Montgomery, and we'll type this in and look it up here and read it to you because I looked it up yesterday. I should have had this ready. The Montgomery Full Season Championship is not a recognized or official college football championship. It is a non existent poll cited by Auburn University to claim a share of a 1958 national title, along with Hawkeye's Wire, which notes the poll's lack of documentation. It may also be a misunderstanding of Piedmont's victory over Montgomery Academy. It's something else. There's no evidence to suggest this poll actually even existed. So why? 1993. I'm pretty sure that team went undefeated. They were really good under not Tommy Bowden, Bobby Bowden's other son, not Tommy. Terry Bowden was the head coach. They were on probation. They were ineligible. They couldn't even play in a bowl game. Yeah, they went undefeated, but they claimed a national title. 2004, they did go undefeated, but they got left out of the national title game between USC and I believe Texas. They claimed the national title. They didn't even play in the title game. The computers left them out. Analytics left them out, Harb. Computers never lie. I really
Uh,
think the only legit one is 1983. They were named by a legit poll as a national title. Auburn hater and loser of the week for making up fake national championships. That's pretty weird. Um, my other hater and loser of the week is Kingston Griff.
whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Yes. And he
Whoa.
needs to
Whoa.
hear this. Tough love for King. King's my man. But he was sitting there just griping and moaning about Josh Heupel last night. Josh Heupel's never won a big game. Where's that sound familiar? He can't win the big one. And that person was there too when this was going on. That's just totally and factually not true, Kingston. Get your facts together before you come spitting game. His mother wanted me to have him on the show tonight, but I decided against it. It is kind of late too. He's got school tomorrow. So Kingston, Josh Heupel, he's not elite. I agree with that, but he's a good football coach, and he has won some big games here. He beat Alabama twice at home. He's now beat Florida on the road. Nobody's done that here since '03. He beat LSU in Death Valley. He beat Pitt at Pitt, all ranked teams.
What do you consider elite?
Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, top. And there
I,
ain't many. There ain't many of those out there right now.
Active coaches, what do you consider elite?
Kirby Smart.
That's it. Ryan Day's not.
Yeah, I'd put Ryan Day in there.
What about Dan Lanning?
No, not yet. He's very good.
What about Lane Kiffin?
Very good.
What about Steve Sarkisian?
Good.
Kurt Signetti?
Good, but trending upward.
So what you're trying to tell me is Josh Heupel is not a top two coach in the country.
The top two?
Yeah, you named two elite coaches.
No, he's not.
Yeah, no,
No,
I,
he's not.
I don't think he's
And I
top
admitted
three.
that last night.
He's in the second tier of coaches in college football.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
I think he's a very good football coach. But he's got some hurdles to get over before he can be in that Kirby Smart, Ryan Day type
I
territory.
think I think he has a claim to be anywhere from 5 to 8 in the country.
What about Dabo? I mean, Dabo
Not
Sweeney at
anymore.
Clemson.
Not anymore.
I mean, he's got the wins and the championships to say he's an elite coach, but that program is trending downwards, and I don't know when it gets better for them. Um,
I think he leaves.
I heard a rumor he might go to Arkansas, but I've not seen
I,
his name really attached to that. But
I think that's.
I
I
mean, I
think
think 3 or 4 years ago, you say Dabo Swinney's an elite football coach with Kirby Smart and Nick Saban and Ryan Day, but I don't know that. I think he's in that tier with Heupel right now because they got a lot of issues at Clemson. Now, I know they were playing the Citadel or whoever they were playing yesterday, but that stadium was half empty at Clemson. So that's some stuff going on over there. I just don't know. I don't think they run him off, but I'm not sure he stays there. But I at one time, I mean, Dabo was as good at him and Saban, and then you bring in Smart. They were the three best in college football. Some were saying Lincoln Riley was headed that direction. That's not happened. I mean, he's in there with. I'd put him below Heupel right now.
oh for sure he's
But
he's
that's
not
what
even in the
that's
same.
what I can't. And you never get an answer out of people, Harb. And I don't want to like talk about this because we need to end this thing. But you never hear like everybody always says Heupel's is not going to get it done here. Well, who is? Like you say stuff like that. Who's out there is going to get it done that we can get? That's the question that nobody can ever answer. And a lot of it's an unknown. You don't know who's out there that can win here.
Also, what is getting it done?
I mean, it's such an open-ended statement. I mean, getting it done after the 2000 season to me was winning 8 to 10 games every year. Well, we're doing that, but now he's not getting it done. I guess winning an SEC title every now and then. I don't know, but King, we love you. But do a little research. He's young, just doesn't know. Do a little research next time before you start spitting that stuff. And I tried to be quiet. I was just like, again, this was all happening while we were beating Florida, Harb. What in the world?
You don't get it.
What is wrong with people? It wasn't just him.
Hey, Josh Heupel and Philip Fulmer. One thing they got in common: they can't win the big
Can't
one.
win the big one.
Can't do it.
Bobby Cox. They're all the same.
Yeah, 98 Braves, 22.
98. I remember Grubb sitting on his couch thinking no way them boys wouldn't win.
Closing thoughts.
I'm done, Harb. I'm tired. Long weekend. Feel like I'm having some after effects from my flu shot on Friday. I need to go. I need to go to bed. I'm tired.
You get your
Um,
COVID shot too.
no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I will get a flu shot though. I do get that every year. No COVID though. No China virus shot. Um, Big tailgate this coming Saturday. Last one of the year. How did we get here already, Harb? Last tailgate of the year until
Unreal.
next September. Unbelievable. Um, Looking forward to it. I don't know what we're going to do yet as far as food options or what time we're getting down there. We'll discuss that as a group this week. But if you're down there this Saturday, come by and say hey to us and hang out for a little bit with us, and we'll be there. I'd say we'll be there several hours early before the game. Look for the flags. Got a new flagpole on the way, Harb. Hopefully, this one won't break or fall over or anything like that. But I'm excited to be back in Neyland one last time this season. Tennessee basketball's got, if you're listening to this, they play on Monday against Rutgers, Tuesday night against Houston, and then Wednesday night against TBD, to be TBD. So a couple big tests this week for Tennessee basketball, hopefully. Last week we were also bragging, just to wrap this up, Harb, that we were going to keep Frank Anderson pitching coach, and then he left the next day. So Tennessee promoted Josh Reynolds to pitching coach. So we got a new pitching coach. Tony V's gutted the staff. Took the strength and conditioning coach and the pitching coach. But I don't think Frank was going to be here much longer anyways after this year. Maybe this year was probably going to be his last and that was it. But Harb, looking forward to this Saturday. We'll do it one more time.
Absolutely. It's going to be a good one.
You going?
Yeah.
Abs. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Should be good. I'll be heading
God,
over.
I missed one game. And like, hell, are
I didn't
you ever going to
know.
come back? Yeah.
I didn't know. I'm heading over to beautiful Spartanburg, South Carolina for Thanksgiving. I'll be over there with Dr. Neese and the family for a couple days, but I'll be back in plenty of time to be in Neyland Stadium in G10 on top of G10 parking lot Saturday morning.
Damn right.
Should be good. Harp, appreciate you coming on. I guess go Cowboys. The Titans lost again. The Saints lost again. So I just sat on the couch and watched my fantasy team all day.
Somehow this Cowboys team's playoff hopes are still alive. I don't know how.
I just needed Javonte Williams to score a touchdown at some point today, and he didn't do it.
Hate that for you.
Might cost me a game in fantasy and my season, but we'll see. All right, everybody. Appreciate you listening. Remember, if you're watching us, you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, whatever. If you're listening to us, you can watch us on YouTube. I don't know what's happened to our YouTube channel, Harb.
Definitely.
Plummeted. The viewers have plummeted on YouTube. I don't know why, but you got to find that out. Maybe we'll ask some of the people this Saturday. But for those that are listening, thank you. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys Saturday at G10 or in Neyland Stadium or afterwards in G10 when we celebrate the ninth win of the season and a win over Vanderbilt. For Harb, I'm Negative Niece. We'll see you guys next week or next time on the Section YY8 podcast.